trend. Screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop loss tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride? Every signal talks like it knows me. Every move could crown me or ghost me. I'm tracing the arc in my mind, chasing the shape I can't find. Hey, turn or trend, they both been riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both been. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, spin that doubt, round and round. Hear that hush in the crowd. Is it just a twist or the start of a run? I'm lost in the gust, but it feels like fun. Oh yeah. Turn or trend, they both been riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both been. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend. Oh. Shots on the wall, coffee gone cold, finger on the trigger, heart runs bold. Tick tock tick, red turns green. Is this that flip or the start of a scene? Every candle feels like a question. Every heartbeat bets on direction. I'm caught in the curve of the line, right on the edge of the sign. Oh, turn or trend, they both been riding that swing till the very last. Stand up and down again, again. Are we in a storm or a perfect friend? Turn or trend, they both been. I can feel it in the air like wind blow right through. Break then blend, I just wanna dance it out. Turn or trend, screen glow bright, midnight dance. One more move, one more chance. Stop loss tight, but my hope runs wide. Do I bail right now or let this ride? Every signal talks like it knows me. The screen's closed. 1 minute charted, never pretend to pull the trigger. My heart beats fast. Every second, the future's the past. One shot, don't ask me why. It's scalp or die. It's scalp or die. Oh, scalp or die. I'm living on the edge. Every tick, every breath I hedge. Scalp or die, the thrills my high. Win or lose, I kiss the sky.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Somebody give me a sound check, mic check, vibe check, all sorts of checks. What are you talking about? I got stopped out. I just TP'd. We went long on this white dot, which is exactly what we're supposed to do, and I got TP'd. So I don't know what you're talking about, what you were seeing. I'm trading badly this morning, that's for sure, but I definitely made money on that last trade. Yeah, I was long and hit my target. That's right. That's correct. Good morning. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Just wanted to make sure that you weren't seeing something somewhere else. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Everybody in the room, come on in. Couple of things I want to talk about before we even start trading. And actually, I posted this up. I think it's a really important insight to think about. Today, I am trading poorly, but not badly. There's a very, very big difference between the two. And if you can trade poorly, but not badly, you will live to fight another day and actually do really, really well. So the way I define poorly is you're like a second late to the setup, or you're misreading the setup. Let's say you really should be looking at longs on your setup, and you're just sort of looking at shorts continuously. Let me put it this way: you should be looking at continuation trades, and all you're looking at is reversal trades in a one-way market. So you're just sort of misreading the market, or you're doing the correct thing, which is you're taking continuations, but the market is whipsawing you. Bad timing, adverse market conditions, misreading the general tone of the market. Those are all things of you trading poorly, which is fine. It's, as I said, it happens, part of the job. Trading badly is when you go from trading poorly to just basically doing random entry. You're like, I just need to get back. I need to take trades. There's no setup in my vernacular here, but I'm going to just take a trade because I know I can get it back. And then I'm going to parabolically scale in order to recoup my losses. And then, you've completely forgotten your whole dots trading plan or your ORB trading plan, and you're just basically, randomly taking trades. When you're trading poorly, it costs you a few ticks. When you're trading badly, it basically blows up your account. I think that's as clean and clear a separation as I can offer you. So, I have not made much progress from yesterday on most of my accounts. The only account I kind of did okay on was these two, where I brought them to the next 100. Every one of these accounts has just been one step forward, two steps backwards. I'm stationary. That's trading poorly. I'm just, I misread the market. I was trying to trade reversals when it was just a complete continuation market here. I got clipped badly on the reversals. I mistimed. I got late to the reversals. I sold the bottom over here, which was, another mistake. The continuation just whipsawed me out. But I recovered. It's not that I'm making every losing trade. I'm just not making every winning trade, which is where I want to be. And then, I eventually kind of reconfigured myself to what is the proper trades here on the reversal side, so on and so forth. I took them. But I think that distinction between trading poorly versus trading badly is something that I hope you guys can take to heart, because it's really a distinction between being a good trader and being a bad trader. So open floor to questions on that if you guys have any questions on what I just said, if it's unclear to you, and anything else on your mind right now. The second thing that I wanted to point everybody to, go to my feed and take the time. I don't even want to discuss this because it's really worth reading instead of just me summarizing it for you. This very long but very, very interesting post about, in my opinion, probably the most accurate understanding of what's really going on and why I don't think the Iranian situation is going to just be settled with a kiss and a handshake. And it's going to be much more like Venezuela than most people believe. That the bottom line of this thread, which I think is fascinating, is that this is all about the petrodollar system. If you think about this, we control the world because we control the pricing of energy in dollars. Therefore, we can print as many dollars as we want. And we back that up with our military might. That is Pa Americana, Peace America. That is the geopolitical reality of the world. I'm not going to get into the politics of the morality of it. It doesn't matter. In the real world, the winnings go to the strong. And this is really correct. Anything that's going to get priced in the yuan and dollars is as big a threat to us as a thermonuclear warfare economically. And I think this is what's really going on. So it's all about maintaining dollar hegemony and petrodollar control over the global market. You control energy, you control society. And that's what it's all about. So I'd much rather us control energy and society than the Chinese. And that's really what it's coming down to. So very, very, really interesting thread, puts everything together in a very deep geopolitical and military point of view, brings in Ukraine into the whole situation, brings in everything. And I think it's fascinating. So really worth reading if you're at all trying to understand and make sense of the world as it is right now. From our perspective, market is obviously shellacked. Max 7s are getting a little bit hit. Again, coming back to energy, structure, everything else. Remember, oil is going to be expensive for a while. I mean, they're clearing the Strait of Hormuz, but I don't. I think pricing pressures on the energy sector are going to start to, distribute all throughout the economy. And AI is basically oil, right? AI is basically energy. Until we build 100 nuclear plants in this country, oil is energy, and that's what AI runs on. So I think you're seeing all of this runoff today in the markets, and the right trade would have been just simply continuity to the short side. If we look at the range levels and everything else, they actually were very shallow when I started, and they really expanded. We were 24.3, 24.2 at the beginning of London, and then we really drifted much lower. By 5:30, we were at 24.1, and then the market low was right here, basically 24.75. I think it's absolutely reasonable that not only did we test the London lows, but we probably tested 24,000 today. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. From our perspective, the signals, for the most part, have been very good, but I've just been on the wrong side of the signals in the sense that the dominant signals should have been the short signals. And when we had the reversals, really you only want to be looking at the white dot reversals. The white dot reversals were quite good. I just simply was a little too early in all my reversals, and that hurt me a little bit. Alien says that we're shipping oil to Australia. Australia, I think, has got 3 weeks worth of oil left. So yeah. But anyways, it's really, really worth a read, guys. Take a look at it. As far as just tactics and everything else, the ORB was very, very. We sort of left the ORB in the dust, right? Just one trade worked really, really well. I'm going to be talking about the ORB and, of course, session high, session lows this weekend, March 28th, 7:00 in the morning. I'll put the link in there. If you are watching me right now, anywhere on YouTube or on Twitter, I'm actually going to put this on Twitter right now. Let me do this right now. my webinar link. If you want the whole rule set of what I do every single day, even if you don't get a chance to attend on Saturday, as long as you register, you will get the full video recording. I'll send it to you. So please, if you're watching me anywhere from Twitter, I just posted the link on Twitter. So if you're watching me on Twitter, it's right there. Register for the webinar so you can get the video recording and the PDF. I'll send you the PDF as well of all the rule sets of what I do. So hopefully that'll be worth your time. Navy guy is gone. A lot of people were asking, how is it that Iran is able to blockade the Strait of Hormuz without a navy? And the answer is very, very clear. They're using drones. They don't need to have ships. They use drone. There are two types of drones. There's the air drones that everybody's familiar with. So they have these swarms of drones. And if a ship is, passing through the strait without paying them their ransom, they simply have those drones attack. But the other much more deadlier drone attack is the unguided boats. They have boat drones. And they have those. There's a couple of islands right on the curve of the Strait of Hormuz where they store all of that stuff. That's what they've been releasing. So the whole military speculation is that what we're going to do is basically not even capture Karg Island. Karg Island is important, but the two other islands, which are the military staging areas, those are the most important ones. That's what we need to capture so that we can mitigate the threat, right? Correct, and they're using upgraded Shaheeds supplied by Russia. That's true too. I am beginning to wonder. I really don't know, but I think we could be at a point where the Israelis are going to start bombing the Uzbekistan road, the Silk Road, because Russia is transferring all of this material via land, via the Silk Road. And of course, Israelis have the military vision of all of this. I would, because the Russians are basically, essentially, they're not just even lending military support, they're actively interfering in our military actions. So, we'll see what happens. But they have basically been the key problem. Without the Russians, probably the Iranians would have already at this point conceded. So they certainly are a major pain in the ass. China is not reacting because they can't. China doesn't have the military capability to react. One of the interesting things that everybody talks about is that China sold a lot of its military hardware to Iran, and it's garbage. Chinese military quality of Chinese military production, as everybody has noticed, is absolute garbage. Their anti-aircraft batteries and everything else are useless. And they know that they simply can't make any kind of overt moves. They're just sort of biding their time. It would be a massive mistake for China to get involved. And they're, it's worse than Temu, right? Right. It's the Temu of military hardware. And a lot of people got fooled by it. So, it's a very interesting side article. Volkswagen, which is getting shellacked now because they're losing share in China, and they're really having a hard time producing cars, is going to start to manufacture the Iron Dome system of the Israelis created. So they're going into essentially military hardware manufacturing, which is probably a very, very smart thing. They have tremendous engineering expertise. And of course, Israelis have this great design expertise. So it's very interesting what's happening. Also, the Indians are now producing all of the Israeli military hardware that they make, which is also very interesting. So yeah, China's getting boxed in from all sorts of ends on the military front. We'll see. Anyways, as from our perspective, trading. I keep harping on this one idea that proves me right. every single day, which is all the money is on the edge. All the great trades are off the lows, off the highs. You see the signals here: winner, winner, chicken dinner. Everything underneath the red ORB line is relatively, decent signals for us. But the special band around the lower edges, 100 points from the bottom, that's really where we get the strongest probability of direction and movement, and that's where all the signals have been done. So we're going to start keep watching that. Market opens up in 15 minutes. Interesting to note, astrologer has been talking about this a lot. That very, very interesting to note. First of all, where we open and then what we do afterwards, because we are within striking distance of London lows, and New York session loves to test London lows on these moves. So we will be watching this carefully, see how it goes. How's your trading been going this morning, guys? I showed you mine. I've been trading poorly, but not badly, as I said. And I'm going to try, hopefully, improve as we go along. Oh, I forgot to get soda. We got 10 minutes to go. I got to get some drink. I'll be right back, guys. Just hang out. I'll play some music. Nothing much to do but to listen to music right now. We're climbing back off the lows, but no signals for us. I had the signal here, and now we're just sort of moving up the edge. For those of you who are trading swing, it's a nice big swing off the move here. Still way under the VWAP, and just basically looking chunky. It's my favorite music. No, it's a music that we make. I make that music. I actually want to make some more new music. Drawdown on Apex funded accounts go away. When we reach the threshold. Does the daily limit go away after we reach the threshold, or is it always there? A daily limit, I think, is always there. The drawdown, if you like go to, let's say at 53, if you get up to 53,000, the drawdown is locked in. If I get to 26.5, the drawdown is locked in, right? All right, purple dot here, 10 minutes, to the hour. If this purple dot holds against this swing high, might be willing to take that trade. We're such sort of net down here, and this could be a pivot point back to the downside. But so far, the signal is very. Let's sell it. Okay, against this high, and I'm in at 44, so I want to be at 34. Let's see if I get a turn on the move here. I'm basically just entering because it's boring. This is not a great set. I would say it's a little bit better than a mid setup. I said to myself, I don't want to trade anything that's mid or lower. So, don't be mid is my internal motto to myself, meaning that I only want to take setups, first of all, that are actually pattern-wise legitimate dot setups, but then within that, they're okay. Also good setups within context. So this is a decent, dot setup. We do have a purple dot. We're negative trend, so we're within trend. The only significant negative aspect of the context here is that we're 5-10 minutes away from the open, and we could be vulnerable to a reversal here. But tactically, this is not a horrible position to be in. Just a question of whether I can really actually get that 10 points before the market opens up. I got about 7 minutes. I was gonna take the profit here while I was yapping. And I didn't, and I'm probably going to pay for it right now. There was probably only about 7 points of this setup that was viable, and then now we're going to try. We might retrace right back to session highs, and that's why it's a less than quality setup. It's just a little bit better than a mid setup, because you're putting yourself into all of this context that's not complementary to you. That's very actually adversarial. Yes, I'm a child of the 70s, so like all the music I make is got a huge amount of wind instruments in it. That's that's part of the prompts that I give Suno, that I want big wind sounds. That's why a lot of my music sounds like Earth, Wind, and Fire made it, because I love that sound. All right, I'm going to close this up. As I said, as I'm talking, I'm basically telling you what I should be doing, right? So let's not, let me not fuck around. We are 7 minutes away. It doesn't matter if this trade is going to make money or not. The only question is it a good trade or not? And it's mid. It's not a great trade. The context is not in my favor, because they can just ramp it up on the pre-market open. So I will leave this alone. I did not quite take the 10. I took, I think, 6 out of it, and that's all I'm going to do. So that's it. Yes, guys. I know you're all trading gold, and one of these days maybe we'll come back to trading gold in the North American market. But as always, I try to focus on just one product at a time. So I'm ignoring whatever gold is doing right now as a move. And let's see, did I have so what was this? The close was 43, right? And the low here was 30. I actually would have been able to squeeze out the 10, but you can see how quickly it reversed on me. So half a loaf is better than none. And that's what I just did right now. We got 4 minutes to go to the open. Let's see what they want to do. Who's new in the room here with me? Who's hanging out first time with us? Wants to ask me any questions? Wants the information of you know, how we trade, what we do. Hello, nice to meet you guys. We don't have risk per trade. We don't have any of the stuff that you guys are traditionally used to. We are scalping. Our structure is based organically upon the signals in the marketplace. So I'm going to share with you guys the basic playbook that we follow. I put the link in there. You guys feel free to click that link and bookmark it so that you have the resources at your fingertips. And the way we trade is our stops are always swing highs, swing lows, which are always going to be different on any given setup. So for example, in this particular trade that I just did, we just closed out. Let me show you. We were trading. This was the entry signal, right? Off this dot closes. Where is our stop? Our stop was at swing highs, which in this case was somewhere around here, right? So we were here. Our stop is above the highest high on the swing high. Our target was 10 points. We're always targeting 10 points. But because this setup was only like 5-10 minutes before the market opened, when everything turns itself around, I didn't want to wait for 10 points. So I took 7 out of it. It actually did finally make 10 points. But we're always trading with a fixed target and a variable stop, because the stop is always organic to where, you know, to where the market is at. This way, what happens is we don't get stopped unnecessarily. If we're going to get stopped, it's because we are clearly wrong on the setup. So that most of the time minimizes our stops. You guys are actually, if you guys, we got time. I actually want to show you. Somebody's asking me for like stats. I actually ran the stats. Hang on, let me just do this. Yesterday for the week. Let me go to Tradingview. I think I hang on. Yeah, I just ran. This is the numbers from yesterday that I ran. Let me just show you what they were. This is all, by the way, totally free. Your very own trade analyzer on the thing. So this is my numbers for last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And obviously today is not is not there. Still, by the way, look at this. The 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock are my worst hours. Not too bad an equity curve. But here's the thing. I'm really, when I'm cooking yesterday, I was pretty much cooking. If I'm doing 80%, that's where I want to be. Profit factor 170. All those are really good numbers. If you can be 125 on profit factor and, like, anywhere else than that, you're in good shape. I also what I want to show you is, this is the other thing. I added a new metric on the cards, something called the recovery factor, which is also a very, very, this is basically the only metrics that matter. The profit factor and the recovery factor. Profit is how much you make, and recovery factor is your drawdown based upon your net P&L, how fast you go to, to fresh equity highs. That was actually a very good recovery factor. It's probably going to be much more degraded by the end of the day today, because my stats for today are going to be pretty much worse. But basically, this is my stats. This is how we run the numbers in terms of what we're doing. Just wanted to let you know. Here comes the market open. See, market open actually flushes to the downside. Big vol move, 59 to like 70-point move. Candle itself is massive. You got the gold star here. We are sort of really at this point where we're trying to see if we test the London lows, right? So that should be interesting. I would short this right now, but I'm late to the setup, so I'm just going to have to watch it. And we'll see, we'll see what we want to do. The setup was like sort of come in here. You had a massive risk, but I think the continuity here was halfway decent. You would have made it. It was short 105. Yeah, almost 95. I'm glad you like the music. All right, holding the lows. Let's see if this would be, what would be really big? I don't think this is going to happen, but it would be really big if they reverse this whole opening bar. Like, that would be shocking. If they can reverse the whole opening bar, that would really catch the shorts off guard. But I think they're going fresh session lows. This is actually so much more of a retrace move here. We do have the New York session low here with 19 seconds left. That's a signal for us. We're going to take it if it stays like this. If that little red banner stays and we are at session lows, it's got to stay session lows though. That's the key thing. And it doesn't. See, we tested. Tested doesn't. Kind of interesting. Keep watching. Market looks like it's basing rather than pressing just yet. Let's see. Within vicinity of the London low, but haven't really tested London low. We're kind of close. Coming back down to the lows. The lows, I think, are about 86. All right, you want to have a little bit of a cheat code, and believe me, this is definitely very problematic. But our reversal trade is all the way up here, right? However, if this candle closes above this high, you could use that as kind of a mini reversal signal. Basically, the high over here is 8. And if we close above 8, we're like at 16. You can use that as a reversal signal trade, which I'm going to try and do with you guys just for shits and giggles. All right. We're in at 21. I want to go to 31. And the stop is underneath the absolute lows. Let's see if I can get any kind of reversal move. Nope. Again, very much a shits and giggles type of a trade. That's why I'm doing it small size. If I eat it, I eat it. I'm just sort of experimenting at whether this is a legit trade that I ever want to do or it's not worth it. A lot of this trade, you can see, like, let me just get it bigger here. The problem is almost all the profit was in the candle. Had this candle been up here, it would have been a lot easier to make the profit. But we are holding properly. And if there is buy-up flows, they should validate us. Like, this isn't by any means a really great setup, but it's not horrible. And it does have internal logic that is, come on, almost there. Just missed me by, what did it miss me by? 28, yeah. Missed me by 2 points. I mean, it does have internal logic here. So you're not totally off base, but it's obviously not the great move. Yeah, astrologer, I'm glad, astrologer is taking very, very small scalps. And I'm not, because I want you guys to kind of watch the evolution of a trade. For me to take super small scalps, you wouldn't even be able to follow them. And also, my whole structure has changed to, look at that. My structure has changed to basically taking smaller size, larger points, which gives me both time and space to operate. Because if you're taking super, super small scalps on larger size, that's great, but it's also a two-edged sword. You're going to start hitting some very, very big drawdowns. Size is always going to cost you drawdowns more than you think that than it should. Oh. I continue my record of making poor trades and just eating. Again, this almost went to target, didn't make it. That's it. It's fine. It wasn't a great trade. I wanted to give it a shot as kind of an early reversal. The true reversal now is 21 off this level, and we'll see if it materializes. But it's been the story the whole day long. With me has been like, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. You're just making very little progress because I'm not really. The market action is a little hard for me to read, and I'm not picking the best of the trades. Yes, and then again, you're always going with, do I wait for the candle close or do I take the early candle? Those are all like offsetting decision you have to make in the heat of the moment. All right, session lows, legit down signal, legit down trade here. 6-7 seconds left. We're short against the high of this with what is that? 72, 62 is my target. That's a legit continuity trade. Here's our swing highs. We're against that. Let's see if I get any continuities movement here. This is New York lows, and this is London lows. We just tested the London lows. We could bounce back, and I could have made another mistake here because this is a test of London lows. So I don't know if we get any continuity. We'll see. It still feels to me like it's a pretty negative trade day. There isn't much to make stuff bounce. So if you just wait patiently and you stay within the zones, the trade to the downside should work itself out. But you never know. So I have 20 minutes to build our ORB lines. We'll see how those trade. All right. Yep. See, now the only other thing that's interesting here is if we do take out the point of control buy, if we're going to go reverse over here, I'm definitely going to go in the other account because it's a legit buy, and I'm going to just let that account at least take the benefit of the buy if I can. But we need to, for me to get long, I have to hold this level, and so far nothing there, right? No, the wicks don't matter. It's where the price closes that only matters. Price is going to test stuff, but the very point of having a dot is it encapsulates the wick movement. See, you're not gonna have wicks when you have dots. So I just ignore everything else. 19 seconds left. I am in the other account to take a long if this thing is going to get reversed on me. No reversal trade so far. Now we're starting to really build a reversal move. Get taken out on that piece, and big reversal move. See, we sold the bottom. I misread the price action because I'm just sort of not in sync with the market today as I should be. But this is a legit, buy signal for us. Just waiting for the candle to close to see that this signal stays. All right, I am in. Sorry, I'm in the wrong 54. I'm in the 54 account, 31 to 41. Right, and against really got to be a big, it's a massive stop, but hopefully there we go. Now that is a much higher probability trade, right? That was almost. I had like a 95% confidence that trade was going to work, which it does, of course. And so so that's good. We move forward, but this was a tough trade. This stung a little bit, and it hurt. Yeah, London low and a bounce trade. Astrology, you gotta like text me out. I'm so zoned out. I'm not paying attention. This is the second day in a row that I ate that trade. I fell into that trap. It's one of those things where you like, oh, I know I shouldn't have been doing that trade. Excuse me. And you only realize it afterwards. But as I said, I'm not trading the best right now. It's New York session highs, complete reversal. Market really is squeezing high. We're going to chase that up. Now we're really, now we have the big move to the upside, big swing. Now the longs are just going to squeeze the hell out of the shorts. Let's see where it goes. 28 seconds left. I'm going to go to the 56 account. $13 seconds left. 8. I have to make sure that the trade stays. All right. Long, I'm at 70, looking for 80. And the stop has got to be like 2 candles back here. So we'll see if we get enough juice to do the continuity trade. So again, let me just kind of narrate the positives and negatives of this trade. Positives: New York session highs, continuity trade, first New York session break. Generally a good idea. What's the one big negative of this trade? We're underneath the VWAP. This is not in sync with the large trend. So you could easily do the V-shaped reversal, which is kind of what it's doing. So sort of everything today that's sending me signals that I'm interpreting, I'm kind of interpreting in a non-optimal fashion. Like if I was really, really in the zone, I probably said, you know what, I'm not taking the New York session high because it's underneath the VWAP. It's not a high caliber trade. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't, but it's nowhere near the kind of caliber trade that this was, which was you had session lows, white dot. That was almost a given that was gonna go up, especially off the London low tap. This one is let's see if it can just pull it up. I get lucky, pulls up, good for me. But now we're really operating right underneath the VWAP, and I don't want to be any long trades until and unless we make a massive move through the 200, recapture the VWAP, consolidate, and then I want to trade to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. At this point, being lucky rather than being good helped me. Right, exactly. Resistance here, yesterday's close, VWAP, Asia low. All of those things are sitting, and you want to be driving into open air. You don't want to be driving into a wall. And I was driving into a wall here. I drove into the wall here. You want to avoid driving into the wall as much as possible. So this was a lucky trade, not a good one. This trade was a good one, and this was both unlucky and not good by selling it to the downside. So just letting you guys kind of know what we're doing. $10 minutes to the ORB mark. Opening range actually relatively muted here, about 100 points so far in the New York session. Nobody's really doing anything huge. Let me see if there's any news here. Jesus Christ. Really, these people should just be nuked off the face of the earth. Just unbelievable. Are you reading this over here? Look at this. Today is coaching. I have some really, really cool stuff I'm going to share with you guys in coaching. If you're interested in getting the indicators, trading with me, getting all the coaching, here's the link for those of you guys that want to join me. Otherwise, we're sort of, just watching the price action. No signals for us right now. Markets are just kind of basically consolidating out. The really, really cool thing about watching the edges, and the edges is like session lows, session highs, or the opening range highs and lows, is that you literally can see, you can just see the supply-demand battle take place in front of you and then resolve. It's either resolves in further supply or fresh demand that reverses the moves. Like you could actually literally, let me not get off the screen. Let's watch the price action. Let's see if there's any more signals. But when there's a lull, I want to replay the London morning for you, and you can literally see all of that happening. All right, fresh New York session highs here, but underneath the VWAP. So this is like running right into the VWAP wall, and I don't want to trade that. I just, perfectly happy to stand down. No news today. Nothing much going on. Here's the New York session high. And it may be a trade here, but we're running right into the VWAP, as I said. Yeah, I'm up. I'm up super. Usually I'm up like around 5, but this whole week I've been up like at 3. So I'm up very early. I do trade London, and a lot of times London is very productive for me. Today London was just, I think I'm tired, and I'm still on drugs. I'm on the last. Oh shit, I forgot to take my drugs. I'm on the last of my treatment, so I'm just kind of like zoned out a little bit. I mean, you can tell today I'm like half a step too slow in all my stuff. I'm just trying to get the cobwebs out of myself. So you see how the New York session highs ran into the VWAP here, and boom, they basically stopped short for now. I'll be right back, guys. Just hang on a second. But we are running, and if we recapture the VWAP, that's very bullish. That's kind of like, I mean, I was really starting to wonder, when you look at this guy's geopolitical analysis, it feels to me, it'll be interesting to see. Let's kind of mark this moment, because next week I'd love to visit us. Okay, we have actually look at this. Oh no, that's not a signal. Sorry, it's not 10 o'clock yet. These are all false signals. You're gonna get, when you do the ORBs, just to let you guys know, it will provide you early signals that are false signals. There's no range here. We just, the range just started here. Over here, it needs to complete before we actually have any signals. So anything in the opening part of the range is not really legitimate signals, but it's showing you that, hey, we cleared the VWAP. Ugh, that was so gross. All right, we're driving fresh session highs. We took out the VWAP. Let's see what happens here. Now this gets interesting. 5 more minutes for the range to close. Yeah, I'm on the last dose of these steroids, and they were just they melted in my mouth. There's nothing more disgusting than the taste of steroids in your mouth. Maybe. We'll see, Alien. Right now, it's the test of the VWAP, right? It may look steady, and then just boom, come right back down. I mean, basically, we had the buyers just squeeze everybody up. Are they going to be able to hold it up? That's the big question. Absence of news, everybody waiting for the next step, which, by the way, may happen today. Trump could totally tape bomb this thing at the end of the day. Says, hey, we're going to deal with Iranians, or fuck it, we're going to nuke them off the face of the earth. Either thing is totally possible out of him. So we'll see. By the way, this analysis that I pointed you guys out to, which is really worth reading. Like I said, it's very, very interesting. Iran formally delivers response to 15 blah, blah, blah. Okay. Interesting. It's time to lose the VWAP, like I told you guys. All right, purple dot, legit sell signal for us if it holds against essentially this session high, this swing high. If we get a purple dot move. "23 seconds left." Right, short 58. I'm looking for 48 against this. And we're done. See how fast that was? That was like, that's another one of those, that's going to be a good setup. Like, you can always tell it's a good setup when you don't even have a chance to adjust your stops. It's going to hit your targets before it even hits a stop. So that's good. That was a nice, clean setup. The good thing about dots is that I always walk you through the setup before it happens, so you know exactly what to do. But very quick bounce back, though. By the way, wow, that was a quick bounce back. Anybody take that quick scalp with me or no? Wow, that was a big reversal. That's impressive. The buyers really ramped the sellers off of this one. All right. New York session highs, lows. Now we get to play the ORB game. Okay, 10 o'clock. Let's play the game. The next setups will be hopefully off the ORB signals that we get. Just going to get this bigger on the screen. Session high at 24,233, low at 24,860. So 150 point spread. That's a respectable spread. We're underneath the VWAP, so no upside moves will be legit until and unless we cross the VWAP, which will, like in other words, if we consolidate here for a couple of more minutes, the VWAP is going to drop, price is going to go up, and then any pierce to the green will actually be a legitimate pierce. It's going to show up. We're always trading the ORB trades with trend. In other words, if there are upside breaks, but the VWAP is below the price level, it's not going to show up on the chart. I have it configured trend only. You can configure it trend, counter trend, or both. I have it configured trend only because that's the best. Structure. Yeah, it should be a UTC setting. Tony, what I would do is remember it's got to be a Chicago setting. So what you need to do is set it 8:30 to 9 in the sessions, not 9:30 to 10. You got to be on Chicago time. Just set it to 8:30 to 9, and it will show up on your screen because you're on my time. Here, do you want me to show you what the settings should be? This is my dots ORB settings. So I basically set UTC to 0 at this point because it's just easier. And then you go to New York session. So these are the hours. 17. Oh, these are the session hours. Sorry, I need the ORB. The ORB's right over here, 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Right there, instead of 9:30, because we're in Chicago time here. I mean, the market is on Chicago time. We're in New York time. So we're, inching towards being positive VWAP, which means the break above those greens that we see, that's going to give us buy signals if it happens. So I'm watching that. That could be our first ORB break. You get the dots indicator by being part of my coaching, my friend. So if you want to be part of that, let me give you the link. Link is in the chat for anybody who's interested. Oh, also, of course, our friends at Apex. Don't forget, still at 85%. Really, really good deals. Go get some Apexes. We don't have any news events, but next week we're definitely gonna have some news events. I think they're gonna. When is the sale going, Ben? Is it like till the 28th? So we'll buy a few of them ahead of the news events next week to do funded count trades. All right. Feels like everybody is gearing up for an ORB run. Let's see if it happens. No, Ben, what I did is I converted to bips instead of ticks. It just wasn't working on ticks. So I'm just using bips as my metric. You see, like, this is a high vol one on bips, right? So it's, it's there for informative purposes. It wasn't critical to my trading, but I'm basically using bips. I don't know, why the ticks is not working for me. And I just don't have time to worry about it at this point. All right, we're getting pushed off the VWAP, and again, secondary purple dot, 35 seconds. You can watch this. If it holds in place, we're going to take that trade. $21 seconds left. No trade. No trade. Buyers still holding. Alien is right. Buyers are buying. Getting the white dot to the session high. It's kind of an interesting trade. If we get a white dot here, it's not a bad setup. It's kind of like a pre-ORB run setup. Might be worth a punt. $26 seconds left. If this candle goes white dot, we're going to go long against this session low. Oh, the swing low, not session low, swing low. 8-9 seconds. Legit. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to go through it. Nice. I took it out. It was so super fast. I should have, damn. I should have, it was such a fast move. I didn't get the full P&L, but it's fine. We made, I made 9 points out of this instead of the full 20. But that was a pretty clear burst up. Now it gets interesting. We cleared the VWAP. We got the ORB high. Now we're just going to see if we can build up and hold above the green line, because that is going to be the ORB run, and it gives us a chance to run it again on the other side. I'm actually going to rotate to the 6. This one is at my 100 mark. So let's go to rotate to 67. See if I can move this account back towards the 100 mark on the whole thing. It's interesting how the dots are kind of like, a price version of footprint, right? You can literally see it building, and very often they're going to give you that explosion. Although it's not frequent that you're going to get like a bigger, usually this would have meant a continuity trade. Instead, it just looked like a big Hoover of stop runs right above the thing. We're still basically trading either side of VWAP. The bulls are holding it well above mid here. And only if this thing starts to go, only if we start selling hard like this, does it show that these sellers may be able to repel the run. Oops, sorry, let me sell this. Shit, I'm yapping. Short against this. I want to go over here. Come on, come to Poppy. Let's go. 88 to 78. There we go. Come on. Get me done. Come on. Get me. Not getting me done. That's annoying. All right. It's got to be it. This is unfortunately, it's a massive proper swing risk. I'm just going to have to eat this if I'm wrong. But that is the proper stop on this trade. Big reversal move down. Let's see if I can get it done. That was super tough. I just missed it by a few clicks. And we're done. So I did get myself done. I'm actually, what I think I'm going to start doing, I have this as an 8120 as a wrapper. I think I'm going to start adjusting this to a 4120, just so this way I don't have to adjust the targets. I can just adjust the stops because the targets will be automated. I realize this. If I'm going to be trading the 10s, I might as well just simply make it 4020. And that'll be my natural wrapper. And then we'll just try to go from there as my trade. All right. So that was good. Trying to move this forward. At least we got the, you could tell that, the reversal trade did work. $2 USA forever. You snot little fuck. You can make fun of me all you want. Those things add up. I told you. Look at this. So what I show you? Did I show you guys my results? Right. This is the the P&Ls for the 2 days. I don't give a shit. I'll make nickels and dimes and get everything funded in a month versus making thousands and blowing it up in the next day. The game isn't about how much money you make, but the game is about how much money you keep, right? So I'm keeping my money for the time being. So you can make fun of me all you want, baby. But the laugh is on you. I know. I'm teasing you back. I'm teasing you back. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's funny. All right, back to we're having a very this is very much this is the markets that try men's souls, right? One step forward, two steps backwards. Not a trade I kind of want to take here. It's not, I want to, as I said, I want to take trades at the edges. This is not quite, the dot is not quite at the edges. It's pretty much a mid trade. I'm not taking any mid trades anymore. So if this gives me a dot, I'll wait. It's either going to run the highs, at which point I'll trade there, or it's just going to kind of die out here and come back to the lows. So it's fine. Oh, it's astrologer, please, homie, please. There's zero discipline. It's just that I have decided I would rather die than size. I'm so sick and tired of burning fundeds on 20 lots. I'm doing 120 lot punt that I just said I told you guys we're going to take these accounts, and if it takes me a year, we're going to fucking trade them at 1 or 2 micros. But I will rather die than trade them at anything more than that. So that's just going to be my stubbornness. So yeah, I mean, trust me, it is not any. It's just the discipline is coming from my stubbornness to not do this again. I wish I had the discipline to not punt out like everybody else does. But I'm hoping you guys get the chance to see the journey with all all the good and the bad. Kind of gives you a little bit of inspiration that you could stay on 1 or 2 micros and just let them run. I'm actually curious. Let's do. It's been a while. We haven't polled everybody yet. It's kind of really boring as fuck today. Let's do. Let me do a poll. Here's what I'm interested in. My trade size. Okay, let's do this. 1 micro, 2 to 3 micro. I'm going to add. We're going to give you 4 options. 5 micro. I'm just going to do this in micros. And then if you're doing minis, obviously it's going to be more than 5 micro. This means what's your basic average opening trade size? Answer that poll. I'm fascinated to see where everybody is at on the thing. I'm just curious where everybody's trading on size right now. It's really interesting. All right. Pop goes the weasel, right? Through the VWAP, white dot into possible ORB run. That green line is the key line. Now it's a really tough trade. Do I want to take this? I'm yapping, so I clearly I'm not. But it's not a horrible trade. This is not a bad trade to take. I actually want to rotate myself out. Oh no, where am I at 67? That's right. I'm in the right account. I want to be in the 67. Shit, I should have taken this trade now. Fuck, I'm not really. Again, I'm just 1 step behind everything today because this was a relatively decent trade. I'm still waiting. What I really want to see is it if the buyers are serious, if they're going to just sweep the highs here. They're going to take out the ORB highs, and if they don't, then maybe it was good that I wimped out on this trade. You still see there's a big cement ceiling here. It's not like they're running the ladder really fast. What are you trading? Astrologer, what's your size? What's your opening size? Okay, so here's let's see the poll results here. About a third trading basically 50% of the group is trading between no more than 3 micros. And then 30% of the group is trading 5 or more. So it's like larger sizes. But answer, everybody vote in the polls. Obviously, Rafal, you got to have a high win rate if you're going to do that, right? If you see me trading, I just showed you my trade analyzer for this week, right? You saw my results. This is the equity curve, right? Here's the P&Ls. Actually, 74%. I mean, not extraordinarily large, but yes, those big extraordinary losses. Hopefully 1 out of 10. The risk isn't always 1 to 5, but sometimes 1 out of 10, the risk is 1 to 5. You hope not to get clipped on that, right? So yes, nothing is perfect and nothing is mechanical. You have to, the way we trade is we trade organically to the market. That means we are willing to absorb rare but large risks when necessary. And the fight against the way I combat that is I'm never like in the worst case scenario, I'm always going to be 1 or 2 micros. So I'm never going to be even close to getting clipped out, right? I'm just hoping to show you that risk reward, all of that shit is completely nonsense in real life trading. What really, really matters is to be in sync with the market and at the right place on the stop and the right place on the target. That there is no perfect mixture of the two. Every single trade is a unique moment in time where on some of them the stop can be small and some of them the stop can be large. It all depends on where the swing lows and the swing highs are, right? So like everything else in life, there is a general rule, but there's a lot of variance around that rule. So hopefully you see that and you see that that this is an interesting way of approaching trading. Greenada, who are you talking about? Mr. 1776. And we didn't hold. See, like my instinct was to wait for them to clear the green line, and it was a pretty good instinct so far, because this was a pretty big reversal off the highs. We're still basically today, as I said, today is a kind of market that tries men's souls. But here's the good part: because we have the tools and because we have these great analytical tools, we are not nearly as trapped. I see so many people online saying, this is the worst markets, I'm getting killed. I see all the fake influencers. I lost 300,000 today. I lost $500,000 today. First of all, whatever the fuck you lost, you didn't lose that. But even if you did, then you're a bigger moron than you look. But the point is that none of them can trade this market, but we can. That's the difference. It's super easy for us to trade a unidirectional market. We make money on every single trade when it's a unidirectional market. The hard part is to not fall for the traps of the range-bound market. And you see how good we are at avoiding that today. I mean, for all the shitness I did, I'm nowhere, I'm not bleeding anything. And I did have, this is the only account that I'm mildly hurt on. Every other accounts I'm net positive on, right? And hopefully I'll be able to run this back up to 26,000 within a day or two. The other thing is I realized you don't have to bring it back instantly, right? I can bring this back in a week. I don't give a shit. That's my whole new attitude in life, The key thing is to survive, right? Survival fitness. Oh, this is the other tweet. This is this is something. Okay, I'm going to actually give you the link to this off of my Twitter, because it got buried in my profile yesterday. But this was like the most interesting, has nothing to do with trading, but it's probably the single most interesting insight from Rory Sutherland that I've seen. Really, really, you have to listen to what the guy is saying. This is it. Tight fitness function. I'm going to give you the link to everybody. You must watch this. This is probably the most accurate description of how you survive prop trading and life itself. Really, really interesting. Watch the clip by Rory Sutherland. So just kind of reinforces my whole idea of like I don't need to win. I just need to not lose in order to win. So that's what we're trying to do. Guys, it's boring. I can't even get the ORB run, and I got a meeting, so we're probably going to wrap this up. We managed to do a little bit of good trading. My greatest accomplishment today was I stayed out of most bad trouble, and I took whatever I could on the trades. I'm almost certain that the moment we go off air, we're going to start running the ORBs. But I got to go because I have a meeting. Tonight is coaching. Hope to see everybody there. I have a lot of interesting stuff to talk to you about there. Anybody wants to join me, be my guest. And of course, please come to my ORB webinar this weekend. Right? Let me give you the link again. Here's the link again. Hope I will see you guys there. All right? Everybody really, really enjoy. Tomorrow, Ask Me Anything Friday. We just chill out, have a good time. In the meantime, I'll see everybody later. Bye-bye.